What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Travis. Of course, this is TWA Motorsports, and today we are getting started on something I have never done, something that's going to take quite a bit of time, and ultimately today, guys, it's going to be mainly an unboxing of the parts that I have, kind of what our plan is going to be, and that's where we're going to go. But as you can see from all the boxes, we've got new RideTech suspension. Now, this is the air suspension for the 55 Chevy, and I've always wanted a 55 on air. I love the stance of them. Ultimately, guys, even the ones on like aftermarket chassis with air is how I always liked them. So we're going to use a stock chassis. We're going to add all the RideTech components to that, and shout out to RideTech. I will list their information down below and all the parts that I use, obviously. So obviously, we can't just do the RideTech suspension. We're going to do some other stuff as well. We want to get some different wheels on it, which is what you see there. And then as far as the rear end goes, I think we're probably going to, I don't know if we're going to do it at the same time, but we're going to LS swap this thing. And so I need a stronger rear end, and I didn't want to weld all the RideTech stuff to the rear end, the stock rear end, knowing that it would shatter if we put an LS in it. So we also have some QuickTime performance stuff. Or Quick Performance, I guess is the name of the company. I don't know why I say QuickTime. QuickTime's an old F-body place that I used to buy headers from. But anyway, so we've got a lot of parts, and I want to start unboxing them to make sure that we've got it all, and I want to show you guys along the way. So besides all this stuff that you see in these boxes, we have some stuff over here on the shelf that we've had for a long time. So one of those boxes, the gray or the brown boxes behind the Wilwood box, that is drop spindles, and they're the C7 style, so they hold, and they're from CPP, they hold a sealed hub bearing. So the hub bearings are in there as well. And then, of course, guys, we're going to upgrade the brakes since it's drum all the way around. This car is completely stock. And so I've got a Wilwood Master, also from CPP, and then POL Online supplied a Wilwood, I don't even remember the name of it, but anyway, that's all those parts over there, including brake lines. So like I said, and then I've got C6 Z51 brakes. So that's what the calipers are up there, and we're gonna have those recoated. They are used, but eventually once we make sure that they fit and get everything lined up, then we'll take them off, have them powder coated and whatnot. But anyway, I'm gonna set you guys up on the tripod. We're gonna go through these boxes so you guys can kind of see what components are involved. I'm not real sure what I'm gonna do with them once I get them out of the boxes. The wheels I'll show you, and then we'll move those. We'll keep those in the boxes. But the RideTech stuff, I really want to get that out of the box and laid out to make sure that we got everything. Same way with the Quick Performance boxes. I've got some spots here on both sides of the Trans Am to lay that stuff out. But bear with me, guys. We have got a lot to go through, and probably a pretty boring video unless you guys are thinking about doing something like this. This will kind of give you an idea of what parts are involved. All right, so we're gonna start here with the wheels so I can show you guys kind of what we're doing as far as wheels go. I chose these Legends by Billet Specialty. I've always liked this, the look of this wheel. It's kind of like a salt flat style wheel, and I may take you off the tripod, and so I don't have to like open all of these, because for the front I chose to go with an 18, and I'm hoping that it clears the brakes. I think I've done my research and it will. But for the back, so the front's a 18 by 7, the rear is a 20 by 10. And yes, my buddy just did one of these cars with an 18 by 9.5. Guys, a 20 by 10 will fit, which doesn't matter because we're not going to have leaf springs anymore. But this is the wheel that we're going with. And I think, like I said, I think I'll just take you guys off the tripod so I don't have to like lift it out of the box. But ultimately, I think that's going to look really, really sharp on this car. Definitely, look, I like that style wheel, but that wheel will not fit over the brakes that we're going to be using. And I wanted something, you know, that wasn't a torque thrust. Believe me, torque thrust looked good on this, and I went back and forth, almost bought another set of torque thrust. I love that style wheel, and I'll always have a set in this garage on something. But since they're on the 52, since they're on the Trans Am, I thought, hey, let's do something different. So either way, that's the wheels. And like I said, I won't show you guys the other ones. 20 by 10 on the back. This is a straight up offset, so it's just similar to buying them for an S10. That's the way I ordered them, so hopefully they work. and you guys will see that when we actually start making videos on putting this stuff on. But that's the wheels. Let's move on. I think we're gonna go to the rear end next. Got this guy open. I'm telling you guys, these staples, they are not fun. But this is the housing that I chose to go with. And kind of the way their website works, guys, is you can order obviously different parts and whatnot. I chose not to get it powder coated because there's gonna be some welding on this. I wanted to get everything welded, take it back off, and then take it to my painter or a welding shop and have them do that. But, oh my gosh, it's heavy. So here's what we've got. We've got a quick performance 9-inch. I chose to do a drain plug on the bottom, which you see. I also chose to do a fill plug, the bigger fill plug on the top. And then of course you've got your vent. This ships just the housing itself. And so we've got that guy there. I'm telling you guys that I upgraded to a back brace. There's several different options you can choose. So you can see it has a back brace on it. That was an option. This is the newer style. This is the direct fitment for a 55, so it should be the correct length. Well, hopefully it is the correct length. Aside from that, you have the option to do, it's kind of hard to show you here, but I chose to have them tack on the stock locating pins or the location saddles for the leaf springs. And the reason I chose to do that right there is because that'll give me an idea. I can leave the leaf springs in kind of where it needs to be as far as pinion angle, and then we can tack on the RideTech bracket. So that's why I did that. I told them to tack these, which they are. They're not fully welded, which makes cutting them off, you could probably just knock them off actually. But either way, want to show you that. Now let's move on to the next quick performance box. Now that we know the rear end, I put it behind the car just to make sure. Looks like the right width. We're gonna assume it is. They know what they're doing, guys. They've built several of these. Onto this box. The QuickTime stuff, guys, shipped relatively slow, but I also know that there's a ton of stuff going on right now in the market. So these are obviously our axles. They are a 31 spline, I believe. And I chose to go with the standard 12 by 1.5. So this is like what the front's gonna be as far as the stock spindle stuff. And so that's why I chose to go with that. Same thing in the rear. Of course, you can get several different options. You can get screw-in studs, half-inch studs if you're really racing. I chose to go to an upgraded axle just because, like I said, I'm gonna put an LS in it. The 9-inch by itself probably, guys, is more than enough to handle what I'm planning on throwing at this car. The back brace was probably an overdue or overkill on the rear end itself. But, you know, why not spend an extra $100, $200 to get the nice stuff? But these are our axles. And aside from the axles, obviously you have some backing plates, which we will not probably be using those. Those are like the retainers. Because I'm going to be using a C6 brake on the back. We'll be using a different bracket, which I'll show you guys later, probably in a later video. Actually, I don't even have them yet, but they're from Core 3. They do an awesome job of supplying like C6 and C7 brake brackets, C5 brake brackets. They make a ton of that stuff. But so that's what this box is. Now let's move on to the last quick performance box. So out of all the boxes, guys, this was the heaviest. I think it weighed in about 70 pounds, 75 pounds, something like that. And this lube blocker inside. Okay, this is the rear differential, and it's in a Menard. Looks like it's in a Menard's bucket. I don't even know. You may have to cut the box out from around this one. Chose to do a, I don't even remember what, it's a Positrack rear end, but I believe I went with a TrueTrack differential. I think it'll be easier to do it like this than it would be to try to lift that thing out of the box. It's just really cumbersome. I remember doing this on my 52, and I put the 9-inch in it, and man, it was heavy. losing a... There we go. So there we... 31 spline, 1350 billet yoke, 355 gear, and guys, it's pretty nice. I don't know what I'm gonna do as far as storing this. It smells terrible, of course, you know, like gear oil. But that was by far the heaviest part of this puzzle. I'd love to take it out of here. I'll tell you what, maybe we'll like try to pour it out onto the cardboard. Yeah, that's not gonna work. I'm gonna have to cut the cardboard off around it or just try to lift it out of here. Whew, I don't know. That's in there. I may have to dump it upside down. We'll see if I can get it out of there, and then I'll try to show you guys it off camera. And it goes through, there's no positive additive on this. It tells you what kind of gear oil to use, and it talks about the break-in period. So I got my oldest son out here helping, and I dumped it upside down. He moved the bucket out while I held it in place, but got it out of there, and definitely pretty stout, guys. You can see where they've torqued everything down. Nice. So we've got it, and it says there's the lube blocker, that's inside this. Now I understand that. I chose to go with the lube blocker seal. If you guys have never seen these before, I wish I would have done this on my 52. I did not, but see how it's made with the basically silicone in between. They say that these work really well. I've never used one before, but everybody I've talked to said that they're absolutely amazing. So that's what that guy is. Definitely worth the extra price for that. Of course, this is the seal that goes in between the two, but yeah, that's a really nice piece. All right, on to some of the stuff I got from RideTech. So there's one last thing that's not a RideTech product, but they sell, and that is this Borgson steering rack. So my car is a manual steering car, and this allows you to go to a steering box, a power steering box. So ultimately, guys, I went back and forth on finding a rack option for this, and there are some options out there that we may do at some point, I don't know, but I figured we would try this first. And I chose just to buy the box only because since I'm doing the swap, the LS swap, we don't really need all the power steering attachments because we're not hooking it to the factory motor. So I don't know whether this piece will be installed at the same time we're doing all this other stuff, but that's it there. You can see a really nice new box. And I don't know if they're rebuilt units. They look really nice, and there's some really good reviews on them. So I'm hoping that we get lucky and we don't have any issues here, but I won't pull this out of the box since, like I said, I don't know that we're gonna be using it right now. We can still do the upper and lower A-arms and leave the steering components attached that are attached right now. So it just, like I said, it kind of depends on how deep in this project I go right now. I would love to actually get the car running with the motor it has in it, but with the new brakes and all the suspension, and kind of enjoy it like that while I build up some cash for some other parts. Like, I mean, I've got a motor, but I'd like to have, you know, like the wiring harness. I'd like to do a standalone computer instead of a, you know, a chopped up factory unit. But either way, we'll just see on that. Let's move on to the other RideTech boxes. The first actual RideTech box, which I'm excited to open, guys. I really have been wanting to do this video for a while, been wanting to open this stuff. I wanted to share this with you though as I did it. So I didn't just, you know, do the normal thing where I just blow these parts out when I bought it, or when it started showing up, because they came in several shipments. I'm sure my UPS guy hates me because I always order heavy stuff. All right, a box in a box. Nothing else in there, is there? And I feel like I need a better flathead screwdriver, but that's good. here's what we got. I don't even know what this is. Okay, this is one of the A-arms. Now, which one? It looks like an upper. Hold that. It is. It's one of the uppers. Really well made. One of the things I really like about the RideTech stuff, they're not just polyurethane bushings. They're like their own proprietary fluted design. I'm hoping they don't squeak, but I'm thinking there's probably a grease zerk in that one. I don't see. There's a grease fitting missing right here. Maybe it just takes universal. Maybe that's something they don't supply, but or maybe it's in a separate one of these 50 other boxes. But either way, we need to make sure that we put a grease fitting there. But look, you can unbolt your ball joints and put new ball joints in. The cotter key's not in there. I'm assuming it's probably in another box. Oh, here they are. Grease fittings and instructions come in the other box. So this is the other A-arm for the opposite side. I don't know which one's driver, which one's passenger. That'll be one of those things we figure out when we get started installing. But there's our other one. Definitely good looking. I just want to like start blowing it apart now. All nice and powder coated. Instructions. All right, next box. Just kind of working my way through. I'm sure that some are more exciting than others. This is the Shockwave kit for the two-piece frame, which, guys, mine has, oh, awesome. So there's the actual bag itself with the adjuster on the top, obviously your air feed. I don't know if this is the one for the front or the back. I'm assuming the back, just based off the size. Made by Firestone. And then of course I'm sure all of your, all your fittings are in there. Hopefully we have two of those. There's our second one. This is what makes it all cool. Oh, and they got the fronts in here too, actually. And be careful when you're unwrapping stuff like this. Kind of go through all the paper. Because while they do use it for packing, sometimes there's nuts and bolts in it. You don't realize that until... I've called a couple manufacturers in the past and griped because I didn't get the hardware and then felt like an idiot when I opened it up and the hardware was there. That's the front, yeah. So it's got the strut with the rod built on top of it. Your adjustment on the top, obviously your airline. Really nice stuff. Golly, I'm excited. And then we should have, sure we do one other here for the front. And there's the second front one. Next box, this is a big one. Oh, of course, it's a box with box in it. Which, look guys, I can't complain, they package their stuff well. My youngest son thinks those boxes are the coolest thing ever. What are you gonna do with that? Huh? You getting in it? Like a cat? I don't know. He's special. He's special. I'm guessing these are the lowers. Just from the, yeah. So these strong arms, let's see how they're designed. You have multiple placement options, and they recommend, you know, kind of where to mount it, but looks good. I'm guessing that the other one will have our hardware in it for our grease fittings and the cotter pin or cotter key. The other box just has the other A-arm and then the pieces that go in the bottom of the struts, the bolts, of course the instructions, What's really cool, guys, is they have instructions for all of it. So upper A-arms get an instruction pack, bottom A-arms get instructions, tells you how to put it all together. Pretty well thought out, to be honest. And then it tells you torque specs, which is perfect because nothing ever comes with a torque spec anymore. Really cool. Next box here is just a little guy. See if we can get it open. We're gonna have a ton of track, that's for sure. So far we got upper A-arms, lower A-arms, the bags. Okay, I ordered the tie rod kit too, the steering kit. That won't come into play unless we use the box. Just so you guys know. So, and it says that on their website, if you're looking for like their steering box upgrade. It comes with just these really nice adjuster sleeves I thought looked nice. And so I said, you know, I thought, well, since we're ordering it, might as well order it all. And then inner and outers. And you guys could buy these separately. I just thought that look, companies like Ridetech, they don't carry junk. So they're not gonna give you some like low end ball joint or tie rod end. That's why I ultimately decided to order from them. Because since I haven't worked on a lot of these cars, I don't know what's available. I usually use Moog, and so, you know, is there a Moog option out there for a 55 Chevy? There may be, there may not be, but I'll let them take care of the hard stuff. So that's what these guys are. We'll set those aside with the steering box. All right, next box. This looks like part of the rear suspension. Assuming it probably is. Yeah. Those roto joints, guys, they're sleeved, make no noise, or whisper quiet. Another reason why I wanted to go with something that wasn't like rod ended. This is similar to a rod end, but it's their proprietary design. I believe they have a patent on it, actually. And interesting that it doesn't have any grease fittings on it. So that's for the rear suspension. So for the pieces that are gonna go basically from the bracket that's gonna be in one of these boxes to the rear end, the pieces that we're gonna weld on that, I don't know if these are the top or bottom bars. But that's what that guy is. I'm sure the other two are in here as well. Feels like it. Yep. Same situation, adjustable, so you can get your pinion angle set. We'll get into more in depth on that stuff, obviously, as we get to that part. They're all surprises because I have no idea what's in each one. Oh, this is the fun stuff. I actually think this will all be assembled as one unit. Oh no, that's the cover. I chose to buy their cover. I just thought it looked kind of nice. Has the vents in it. Looks kind of, I don't know, industrial in my opinion. I don't know, you know, our placement's obviously going to be in the trunk, but I don't know exactly what's going on with that. And then of course they sent me some swag. They asked me about, they sent me a Ridetech banner for the shop, sent me a couple hats, a couple shirts. They asked me what size my son wore, and so got a couple shirts. So awesome people, guys. I talked to them on the phone. They actually called. I ordered this a while back, and they called to check up on me to see how it was going. I said, honestly, haven't even done anything. So I wanted to start, you know, filming and taking this stuff out and get started on it. We've got some stuff out of the way now that we can actually get a start. On to the next one. We only have two more after this one. You guys aren't asleep by then. I have a feeling this is going to be a lot of little stuff. Yeah, bracketry. I'm guessing this is for the... I have a two-piece frame car, and I'm assuming this is for that part. All the bolts, the hardware for installing that rear bracket. my camera battery died in the middle of unwrapping that one, but I wanted to lay it all out. It was kind of all bagged up anyway. So this is for that rear panhard setup and the bracket itself. So this sandwiches in between the frame. Your upper and lower bars go back to the rear end that we unwrapped earlier. And then you have your panhard attachment, and then this is your panhard rod. And then of course you've got e-brake brackets that allow you to hook up your brake lines. And then these are the pieces that are going to weld to the rear end. These are the pieces, like I said, that when I unwrapped the rear end, that I wanted to place kind of with the leaf spring in place if possible, but if not, we'll figure it out. I've got a buddy that'll weld it up for me, but they're uncoated also, but they'll be welded to the rear end, which we're gonna have powder coated or painted. So of course all your hardware comes with it as well. Next to last box, oh, this is the Ride Pro E5. So I talked to them on the phone before I ordered this stuff, and I said, hey, what do I need? Do I need to go with the bigger valves, bigger tank? What do you think I should do? And he told me, for what you're wanting to do, he said that this setup is a little nicer as far as like, it's not as poppy. So if you're trying to air it up, it airs up a little slower, and you know, you're not trying to get that hydraulic or, you know, jumping up and down look, because that is not what we're going for. We just want to lay it out, have a good, comfortable ride. That's the whole deal there. But got airlines, obviously instructions, and then guys, like I said, I chose to go with this whole setup. It's all one unit, so it's all self-contained. Man, they did a good job packing it. This, I'm sure, is something that would be easily broken. All our wiring, fittings. Looks like a lot of work. This is what that cover that we opened. Been nice if we'd have known that. We could have opened the cover last, but this sets all inside. Let's see if we can get it out there. So this guy sits inside. You can bolt it down. I shredded my glove, but it's all plug and play. Everything's mounted. You literally just have to run the lines into it. Now, is this a more expensive option than doing your own setup? Absolutely. But is it going to be as elaborate and self-contained? Like, look, that footprint, you got, I think it's probably 12 inches. Grab me a tape measure over there. It looks like it's about 12 inches by, I don't know, maybe 28 or so. Let me go grab a tape measure and we'll measure it and see. But that's a pretty small footprint. I think this is a 5-gallon tank. So sufficient air. Like I said, we're not going to be bouncing up and down. That's not why I bought this. But I like that it's all put together on one little piece. Let's see here. It is, oh, I was right on the money. 12 inches by, let's see how close I was here. 32. So it's a pretty small footprint. It's like the controller or something here. I think that's what this is. Goes in the car, your screen, where you're airing it up and down. It is. Check that thing out. And we'll play with that obviously more as we get it together, but all right, one last box, and I'm sure it's, I'm actually not sure what it is now that I think about it, because I feel like we've got front and rear suspension, got the bags, got the lines. We'll check it out and see what's in there. Last box out of the mix, and like I said, I don't know what else could be left. Gotta be something though. Oh, it's hardware. Pretty big box for hardware. Oh, this is a sway bar. So the front strong arm setup comes with its own sway bar attachment. And that's what this guy is. Big, ginormous sway bar. Which this car was never equipped with because it never went fast enough to need one. And of course ours has never been fast enough to even break the speed limit. even in a 40-mile-an-hour zone. But that's what this guy is. So that's pretty self-explanatory. The hardware in here is your bushings and end links, and then your attachment points. All right. Well, guys, that is it. That is all the boxes. So I'm gonna show you the mess that we've made in here, but we don't have anything else to open. Let's take a look at the mess we've made. This is just some of the boxes. We've broken down a couple. This guy here, he's building something. What is it? Tell these guys what you're building here.
That was my bed, and then I'm building a chair.
He's got a bed here, and he's building a chair. This is what we do with the cardboard, guys. So anyway, we've got all the stuff unboxed. I've got it kind of laid sporadically. This is all the rear end stuff. Obviously, all the front suspension stuff. I've got the bags up there on the counter, and then the AirPod itself is right there. So, and the wheels obviously underneath it. But yep, definitely got a lot of work ahead of us. I wanted to show you guys an unboxing though, because if you haven't seen this, there's not a lot of stuff out there. There's a couple videos on YouTube as far as like showing how the suspension works, but there's nothing showing you how to install it. And we are going to do that on this channel. I don't know how quick we're going to be doing this stuff. We're just gonna work on it a little bit at a time. So it'll be broken up into multiple videos, maybe try to knock out the front in one video, the back in another video. Obviously we're gonna be throwing some brake stuff in there, but we need to start blowing it apart. So I think that'll be the first step, is maybe getting you know, a lot of the front end parts off. I don't know, we'll just have to see how it works, but it will be multiple videos, that is for sure. I'm not gonna try to do all this in one video, but hopefully you guys are excited about this. Like I said, I'm a little apprehensive because, like I said, I've never done an air ride setup. I've had a couple vehicles with air ride, never done one. I am not a welder. I have a friend that's a welder, and I'm gonna lean on him to weld that stuff. I probably could weld it. I haven't welded since high school, but if I'm gonna be going down the highway with my family, I wanna make sure that the weld's strong. So I'm not gonna start welding on something like this that I really want to be right. So you will be seeing that as well. I will take you guys with me when my buddy welds that stuff up. But if you guys are enjoying this stuff, if you do like this video, please, like always, smash that thumbs up button. Guys, if you are not subscribed, go down there, hit that subscribe button. Of course, like always, ring the bell icon. That notifies you every time we put up a video on this or anything else. And stay tuned to see what we work on next.